All right, we are recording. So, good evening, everyone. This is the August 5th Social Service Funding Committee meeting, and our first funding committee since the passing of the grant recommendations. So that's very exciting. Those passed council with approval. Thank you, Lisa Stiller, for going and presenting and giving an update on kind of what the process has been this year. We are in the process right now of executing all of the grant agreements. So those are getting signed, and then the checks will be sent out. The first payments will be sent out probably this week, I believe. There's probably 3 that I'm waiting on, but it's mostly like a technical Adobe error, not like a organization error. So just constantly trying to figure out how to improve those systems and get the signings easier. But that's kind of an update of where we are right now. Anything anyone would just like to share and check in? Any news or updates?
One thing I have a request to Megan. I wish I'd found out before that Home Plate had their little like open house or fundraiser. If any of our groups are having events, could you let us know so we could pop in?
Absolutely. I'm happy to do that. I believe the Home Plate one was actually private invite, so I think they will probably have something larger open, like a larger opening too. I'll keep my eyes out for it.
Yeah, but it's just really nice to go and meet them and, just say hi. Oh, we're the ones who funded. Oh, just hi.
No, I think that's a good idea, and we'll also have site visits to talk about tonight, so we'll get some of that back as well. But I think we used to have like a couple of the galas and those types of things that would come up, but those have been a little bit harder during COVID. So
that was really fun. I went to that one, and what was nice about it is not only do you meet people from that organization, but other organizations that you might want to say, look what we're doing, do you want to apply for a grant? So the networking is really good.
Absolutely. I agree. Good note. Oh, I guess I should just share, we won't go into detail about it tonight. I'll be learning a little bit more in the next week or two, but the city did receive funding through ARPA for a nonprofit incubator project. So I know we had chatted a little bit about that, but I will just kind of keep you all updated on what that project looks like and what the involvement of the board might be. So I think Lisa shared a little bit about that when we went to city council in June. And I think there's a lot of interest there in figuring out how we can work together. So more to come on that piece, but very exciting. Yeah. Anything else? How have summers been? Summer's been good overall, busy. Everyone's still healthy and safe.
Lots of vaccinations.
That's good. We want to see lots of vaccinations. So, great. Well, we will probably have. Usually the last part of our year here is focused on kind of those site visits, and then obviously in January we'll get the first round of reports and do those together. So we'll kind of just see how things go. We'll probably do another meeting virtually, but I'm hoping we can come together as a group and do another one in person as well. Hopefully maybe in January or February. So more to come on that. I'm just gonna pause for a second and see if there's any public comment. Check the attendees list. Okay, great. So first order of business tonight is the draft bylaws. So you should have received those over email. There's a couple things to know. The boards and commissions across the board, they're just updating the bylaws there are a lot of pieces that just hadn't been like standardized across the board. So that's why they kind of look formatted. They're formatted, I think, in a really clean way. There's one piece that's not kind of included in there is that each board will actually have the option of having 2 alternates, but it's up to the boards to decide whether they want to do that or not. So that's not directly in the bylaws, that was separate. And then there are a few changes that are specific to our board and a few things that were kept that are specific to this board. So that includes, obviously, we don't have a city council liaison because you all make those recommendations to city council. So we don't have a council liaison that sits directly on the board. We also, the change was to bring it from 7 members to 9 members. And then there's also the addition of a recorder role. And I know Lisa sent me some questions just around the role of the recorder as kind of, since you all work off of consensus and have conversations, I generally facilitate the space. The recorder would be responsible primarily for ensuring we capture any motions that are passed. And there are several templates we can work off of as well that both the boards and commissions process has made available and that we have from a couple years of notes that I have, minutes and notes that I have posted to the site. So that is that piece. It gives us more flexibility to figure out when to do our elections of officers. Typically it asked us to do it in January, but it was kind of challenging just because that's when we brought on brand new people. So if we want to do that a little bit later, we can do that as well. There's just a little flexibility there. So I think that's kind of the very brief overview, but I wanted to see if there are any other questions on the bylaws that were presented. All right, do we have a motion to approve the bylaws?
I so move that we approve the bylaws.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and all in favor, you can raise your emoji hand or your normal hand, your visual hand. Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Lisa and Jerome. Motion passes. We have some bylaws, new bylaws. We had bylaws before. Okay, so just to know with that, with the added 2 positions, we will address that in the boards and commissions process in the fall. So I'm actually going to switch the order of these agenda items really fast. Boards and commissions recruitment usually happens in about September, with decisions made and recommendations made to the mayor in October. And then those terms, any new terms would start in January. So we will be filling those 2 positions. And then I just wanted to give a heads up here that I believe we have 3 terms expiring at the end of this year. So let me pull that up really fast. So the 3 terms that are expiring are Renu, Lisa M, and Jerome. Your terms will expire at the end of this year, so you can reapply through the board's process. And I will probably just plan to meet with each of you 2 and have a conversation. Same goes for everybody else. Like if anything has changed in your personal situation and you want to have a conversation about your term and being on the board, please let me know. For our board, especially because we go through that grants process towards the beginning of the year, it's really important that we try and figure out who is able to stay and what empty seats we need to fill at the end of the year. So that's the process we'll be going through. we actually have a really great, I think, diversity of Beaverton represented on our board. We have 6 NACs represented out of actually we have 7 NACs represented out of the 8 of you, including Mike, which is pretty amazing. But with the additional members, I will also be looking for another youth representative because Raina is going off to college. And so if anybody knows any youth that might be want to be involved, please refer them to the boards and commissions process as well. And you'll all be notified when that opens up. I'll send you an email and you'll probably hear from the neighborhood program as well. So just wanted to give everyone a heads up. Please be thinking about what you would like to do. And I think this, everybody's been through a whole full term now, so it gives you a good idea of what the interest might be. So that is that process for right now. And then site visits, we'll just get straight into that. We are going to do site visits this year. I think what we have done in the past is just really prioritize the ones that are new to us and to the board for a visit. They're very casual. They are typically like 30 minutes or less. The idea is to go to the site, just see some of the services that they provide in action. Depending on confidentiality and those types of things, it might just be a conversation with staff rather than like a full conversation with clients, but either or is great. And then we just kind of take mental notes. And then if there's anything that you have concerns about, you can share with the board when we come back to the next meeting. So we'll have several months to do these. The idea would be, right now we have 24 organizations. So it would be great to have each of you take 3. And then what we will do, I will send this out after the meeting, but we'll start a shared calendar. And you'll just need to put in the date and time that you schedule it for and the location. And then send out once that's scheduled, put that in the calendar and then send it out to me and to the rest of the board as well. I'll try and come to as many as I can, as long as I don't have anything conflicting. And then for other folks that would like to come as well, please join those other site visits. The more kind of eyes, and I think they appreciate actually having like a larger group as well, because they are going to organize something for us. So that'll be really helpful. And I can also send out just outline of an email if that would be helpful for you all to send when you ask. So that spreadsheet will have all of the contact information that you'll need. So emails of their grant representative and everything like that. So I think what might be helpful is we can just go through and assign site visits. And there's a few we'll do tonight, and then we can fill in the rest of the grid on the calendar as well. I think that should be totally okay, but I wanted to make sure we got to some of those newer ones. Let me pull it up really fast. Okay. The first one on the list is Beaverton Resource Center. They are actually going to be doing a grand opening and tour with the mayor. So I think I can send that out to you all, and we can probably go at that time. I know, thank you, Mike. Mike joined me for a little tour of the BRC a while back. So if there's anything you want to share about that, Mike, feel free, but I will just send that notice out, and anybody who can make it to that one, let me know. But Mike, anything you want to share?
Yeah, I was real impressed with how they really do want to tie groups together. And in fact, I was able to use them right in the beginning. I had another group that was looking for somebody to be able to donate food to on a regular basis. And so we called BRC, and they worked with the person from an organization I was working with to come up with another organization. So they're trying to do things that are going to tie folks together, tie other organizations together. It's kind of neat.
Thanks, Mike. And obviously we are down 2 right now, so we'll just leave some room for them to sign up for some as well. But the next one on the list is Big Brothers Big Sisters. Anybody want to take that one?
I could do that. I've got some experience with them and would be interested in that.
Great. Thanks, Mike. This one was new from last year, so I'm going to add this one on as well, but Bridges to Change. Interest? Okay. Oh, Hazel, do you want to take that one? College Possible. Okay. Yeah.
Racy, Lisa.
Oh, we got multiple hands here. Lisa, I will assign that one to you for the moment, but sounds like you might have a group joining you. Let's see. We've got Good Neighbor Center.
I can do that one. This is Lisa Mutchler. I pass them every single day on my way from my house to my parents' house, because my parents, watch my son while I work. So
they are, yeah, very local. So that will be great. And they're should be very easy to plan with. So I will add that on there. Obviously, whatever, I'll include this in the email, but just check with folks about their COVID safety protocols. So whether you need to wear a mask there or not will probably depend on the different location. And of course, whatever you feel most comfortable doing. So make sure that you ask about that in the process. And let's see. Lines for Life. That's the youth helpline. Jerome? All right, awesome. I think that would be a great one. Okay, and Lutheran Community Services Northwest. Folks are doing refugee and immigrant mental health services. Awesome, thanks, Jerome. Okay, let's see. Rise, which is, yep, thanks, Hazel. I think they may be planning something, so they would be good to probably connect with soonish, but they are also, some of their staff are very involved in the city's night market, so I would probably wait to reach out to them until end of August, just as a heads up. Let's see. I think there were a few things that I'm going to add Recovery Club on this list. Anybody want to take that one? Okay, Lisa, great, thank you. And then let's do Waste Not Food Taxi. Awesome.
Megan, you want us each to take 3, right?
Yes, 3 would be great, but we'll do like 2. Why don't we just do 2 right now, and then we can go from there. So I've got Jerome, I've got Lisa Stiller, I've got Hazel, Lisa M, Renu, And Mike, is there, oh, Mike, I think you mentioned wanting to go to Assist or connect with Assist. So let me add that on there. Hey, Melissa. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Renu and Lisa M. Are there other ones? I can share the full list if that would be helpful.
Urban Gleaners.
Urban Gleaners. Yeah, that's probably a good one to add, actually. I believe they were new last year. Okay. Melissa, we're just dividing up site visits. So we're just going down, selecting 2 right now, and then we can add on later. So we still have, I'll roll down the list. We have Adelante Mujeres, Assistance League, Bethel UCC. We have Deer, Home Plate, Kinship House, Meals on Wheels, Oregon Food Bank, St. Matthew Lutheran Pantry, Transcending Hope, Virginia Garcia, and Youth Contact. There's another one there. Oh, Transcending Hope. I think that would, anybody want to take that one? Melissa or Lisa?
Yeah, I can definitely take it.
Awesome. Thanks, Melissa. Okay. And then Melissa, any of the others stand out to you that you would like to visit?
No, just whatever is left, I guess.
Awesome. Okay.
Megan, out of the others, are there any that like, none of the others are new then? The ones that are left? We already assigned all the new ones.
I believe so. Bethel, I don't know if we were able to do one because of COVID, so they might be a good one.
Bethel UCC.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, that's the other one I was thinking. So why don't I just take that one? I'm familiar with them too.
Great. And then Melissa, I'm gonna add St. Matthew Lutheran Church. I think their pantry is just really great, a really great example to see.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. Awesome. All right. So I will put together a spreadsheet, send it out to you all with just a form email. The spreadsheet will have, again, we'll have the name of the organization, the contact info for the person you'll need to reach out to. It'll be assigned to you, and then you'll just need to insert the day, time, and location of the site visit. And then just send us a notice that it's been updated, or send me a notice that it's been updated. And we will try to join you if we can. So that's kind of the plan. They're very casual. Don't plan to take any notes there. And I will try and take some pictures too if I can come along. So just a heads up to look your best on those site visit days, the fanciest masks that you have. So I think site visits, we will have, my recommendation would probably be to try and schedule those 2 and have them done before the end of the year. And then when we meet in January to go over reports, we can also talk about the site visits as well. So that will be, I think, really great. And I'm looking forward to being back out there and seeing some of the work that's happening. Anybody have anything else? Any updates, questions?
Yeah, Megan,
Yeah, Mike.
you and I had a brief discussion one time talking about the types of organizations that we would like to award benefits to, and that you would like to have a discussion at some point, not necessarily today, but to get people thinking about it.
Yes, thank you. So there are a couple things I think that will come up probably. We do have usually ask from City Council to discuss priorities on an annual basis. Some years they just stay the same, and some years they might change. So I anticipate just with COVID and with a lot of the other changes that we might want to have a conversation about that, and be able to share anything back to City Council in terms of how you all see the priorities that we have right now for the board changing or needing to be more flexible. And I know that came up in some of the conversation about like evaluation of scores as well. So we will have a more full and structured conversation about that probably this fall, just as a heads up. And then along with that, I also wanted to say, and Lisa Stiller, please feel free to add in, but one of the things that we've had some feedback about in the last couple years, and definitely heard specifically this year, is some concern around funding really large and really financially large organizations. And so there have been some comments from City Council, from the mayor, to just take a look and think about how that factors into our scoring and who we want to fund. So I think there's an opportunity. I know that was, again, another big discussion. If there's any policy we want to recommend or set around how that's handled, that would also be another area of conversation. So Lisa, do you want to?
Well, the one thing I want to add is that I was, at the presentation when that comment was made, and I think I get the sense that if we kind of explained a little bit that why that we're generally trying to decrease that funding, but to weed them up, we also feel the relationships are important. So I think we need, if we make that point to City Council, that some of these organizations like SCAT, Virginia Garcia, the relationship is real important, and also the diversity of people that they serve is real important. And I think the City Council is really into looking at diversity. I mean, just the wide diversity that you see Virginia Garcia and SCAT serving, I think together is saying we're weaning them off, but we want the relationship and just the wide diversity of Beaverton residents. I think they would be okay with us keeping a small number of organizations that are, the larger funding ones, as long as, we don't make them the majority of them. But I think if they understood those 2 points, they would be more open.
Thanks, Lisa. Yeah. Renu.
Yeah, Megan, I just have a comment. Well, funding small organizations, one thing we got to be careful about is efficiency, because what will happen is if the organization size is too small, they'll have more in overhead than what is going out. I mean, the amount that's actually going out to help the end recipient. So I just want to caution that. So there is an optimum size too, because if you make it more too small, it may not be efficient. As it is, when I look at the financials on some of them, I can see that maybe these people should get together and it might be more efficient. So that's just a comment that I have.
Yeah, thanks, Renu. And I think that we'll probably come back to discuss some of that around potentially the incubator project as well, just because I know that was a discussion in terms of a lot of those smaller organizations also need some of that capacity building. So how can that be all rolled into one package, would be kind of the purpose of that. Other thoughts? Yeah, Lisa.
Yeah, sorry, I'm all over the place here with my video. I was just gonna I was wondering if we wanted to talk at all about kind of the other side of this conversation as far as the incubator aspect for like super small groups or ones that are like just getting started. I just kind of remembered that when you were saying, you know, is there anything else anyone wanted to discuss? I'll be totally candid. I have a MBA final due tonight and I'm like all over the place. So I'm not like ready to like make a commitment to getting into it, but like I just wanted to throw that out there. And I know really the like the original idea came from council, right? That they might want to create something like that. So just like how we might be involved in that, just the connection, and if they're still going to do that, I don't know.
Yes, they are. They got ARPA funding, so there will be some conversations about that, and definitely any kind of involvement with the board, I will bring back to you all as well. So as I learn more, I will share that with you all. Okay, well, yeah, I think there's a couple areas there. The priorities, kind of funding structure, incubator that we have to look forward to in the fall. I feel like there was at least one other piece. I think the only other piece that has come up kind of around like structure is that community development block grants now are doing some 3-year grants for folks that they grant fund, as is City of Hillsborough. So those are, you know, the Beaverton budget is an annual budget. So there's kind of the caveat that like funding could change, but they make longer term allocations. So there is, I think that it would be challenging to figure out how to do that. But also I think if there is any interest in doing something like that, that's certainly something that we can think about and discuss in more detail as well. So just wanted to throw that out there. Anything else just coming out of the grant season that we just had and looking forward to site visits? Anything else that should be either on the list of things that you all want more information about, or that you want to dive deeper into this in the next coming months?
I'm wondering, and I guess I hate asking people if they want to do another meeting because but I'm wondering if at some point we can all take a careful look at the questions. I know those have evolved since I've been on the board, and they're really so much better. If we all want to take a careful look at the questions and say, do we want to do anything with the way the questions and the scoring happens, and just do a meeting on that at some point? I don't know, it just might be worth taking a real look at that and then coming in and saying, this might want to be tweaked or that might want to be tweaked.
I think that would be great. It's always worth, once we see what people's answers look like, going back and reviewing and seeing if we need to change anything. I know we have some pieces around COVID in there, so depending on what the next couple of months look like, we might want to tweak some of those as well. So Mike?
Yeah, and last year, one of the discussions that we got into as we were discussing the different groups had to do with the sort of hand up versus hand out, and also who is actually leading the different organizations. Are they, those people who are directly involved, or is it somebody who's working sort of from the outside? Not that I would say all of those have value, but depending on how we discuss things, it could change the questions that Lisa's recommending.
Totally, I agree. Jerome?
Yeah, sorry, I'm not using my video. I'm driving around. Have you gotten any formal or informal feedback from both the groups that we did fund and the groups that we did not fund? And I'd like to, at some point get a read on that, if that's available.
Thanks, Jerome. That's a good question. So I did offer meetings to the folks we didn't fund. This was kind of a wild year in terms of funding 3/4 of the organizations. So I don't think I ended up meeting with any of them. I might meet with Safe Families still, but just I have not had any kind of direct feedback. Certainly from some of the new organizations, we've just had kind of thank you. This is going to make a really big impact. Like excited to share with you what's going to happen. So we'll see some of that, and that also makes me think that we did get end of the year reports from everyone as well. So I'll be working on compiling those and sending those out for you guys to see. You should already be able to see them actually in Zoom grants. It will be in the 2020, 2021 grants, but the final year reports are in there. So for any of the organizations that you are going to site visit, if they were funded last year as well, I would just encourage you to go and take a look at their end of the year report as well.
I guess I'm kind of aiming at the feedback on the process of the interview process and the application process. I think that's what I was at.
Oh, thanks, Jerome. Yeah, nothing specific. We haven't done really like a formal evaluation before of grantees and what they think about the process in terms of how accessible is it, like how easy is it, just kind of like how they perceive it. And I do think I've just been wondering what some of that feedback is. And there are some organizations that we have seen not be successful over and over for several years. And there are also some organizations that just haven't come in at all. So I'm thinking both about focus groups and or some sort of evaluation process. So if anyone, I can bring that to this group and we can discuss a little bit more if you all are interested in that, and certainly happy to share any results from that with you as well. And if anybody would like to take a lead on either organizing anything or thinking about some of that, that would also be wonderful.
I'm sorry, Megan, I missed that. I was plugging in my laptop. My battery was telling me it was going to die. So I'm sorry that I missed that last part.
Yeah, I think just the piece around, I think probably it's about time to do some evaluation with grantees or other nonprofits around just kind of our process and how they feel like it is going. And get any feedback about that. I think any feedback they have about kind of the number of questions, how well worded are the questions, like some of those types of things as well have helped in the early period to refine it a little bit. So maybe even connected with what you brought up, Lisa, around taking another look at the application, we can chat with some of the grantees that we're working with.
I'm definitely interested in that, Megan. Thank you. Yeah, I'd definitely be interested.
And actually, I would also say on your site visits, if you want to ask any questions related to the process and how they found that, and if anything would make it easier, please feel free to do that as well and bring that back. Awesome. Okay. Well, we've got a couple things to come back to. But I will be starting that process of doing some recruitment probably at the beginning of next month. So if there are folks that that might be good candidates for the board, whether it's this one or another one, please reach out to them, let them know that will be coming up. And also if you all have any interest in other boards and want to talk about that, I'm always happy to help connect you to whoever that staff liaison is as well. So There are a couple things that I think everybody knows now, but generally we try to minimize double appointments, and also just try to balance both bring folks in and having some returning advice and wisdom represented as well. So those are some of the things that we'll be thinking about. But we had a great recruitment year last year. So Hazel and Melissa, thanks for making it through your first year of the grant cycle. Bringing lots of good feedback. Mike, thank you. And now the easy part, and fun part starts. You get a little break before we start reading all those applications again. So I will go ahead and finish off our meeting, but reach out to me if y'all need anything. And I will probably schedule something out again in October. So expect to hear from me then. Bye, everyone.
Thank
Nice to see your
you.
faces.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.